fundraise is a collection of closing door. So you have to be able to take 99 closing doors in front of you. And this is fundraising. Be able to take a no, to take I'm not interested, to be ghosted sometimes. But then, after 99 closing doors, you will find the right one, the right door that it's gonna open, and then go straight.
Sound of Startups podcast is hosted by Taj, produced by Amplitude Ventures, your partner in early stage startups.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Sound of Startups. And today I have a special guest from Italy. His name is Emanuele, and he is a young founder who is recently featured in Forbes Under 30 as being one of the most inspiring startup founders in the creative segment. And he is the founder of a company called Hat Music. Hat Music is essentially a Fiverr or an Upwork for musicians and for the people in the broader music industry. And it does a fantastic job of getting people the right kind of talent they're looking for their project. I happened to meet Emanuele recently at the Athens Music Week. I saw his pitch. It was inspiring in many ways. So here's an inspiring story of a young man from Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emanuele.
Thank you, Ty. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be in here. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much. Super happy and glad to be here.
So let's begin. Who are you and where do you come from and what's the whole story?
Perfect. So I'm Emanuele and I'm 23, now turning 24 years old. I live in Milano, in the north of Italy, but I came from Verona, a city nearby in the north of Italy. I have been always passionate about music. This is something that I will say that define me and my personality. I start building my own startup. That is Hat Music. And so I saw the problem in the music industry that it's very difficult to connect with people. It's everything around people. And I said, okay, there is a real problem. And then during my university, I started building, validate. And then after the bachelor, I decided not to go to work as an employee, but to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, so what does your startup do?
Yeah, so what we want to achieve and our vision is that in 5 years, one artist out of 10 in the world will use Hat Music for artist career development. Hat Music is this platform, is this tool. And we help emerging music artists to find their own career, their own pattern. We are changing the entire music industry ecosystem because nowadays people don't use a digital tool to work together, to discover each other, to discover opportunities. They just go on social media, but they're not taught for music industry. They use word of mouth, but it's not that efficient. So we are building the future of connections in the music industry. I found two incredible co-founders, Riccardo and Gea, on the tech side, because I'm not tech, and I realized that to build a tech startup, you need a tech team. And so we started building our first MVP, try to launch it with a very small pool of users, and we saw that we were creating impact, value, something that can change the life of artists and professionals, so people who work in the music industry. And then we raised our first pre-seed round to start launching the product. We raised from our investors 250K as a beginning, like a very small pre-seed that allows us to start with a first validation in the Italian market. But we said, if it's gonna work here in Italy, think about outside. So, and we launched the product. In less than a year, we realized 13,000 users, more than 100K in revenue. And so now the challenge is to create a sort of optimization in this model, in what we are creating, and replicate the same in every country.
Coming to the questions of the team, what's the most important thing that you think is important to have in your team? How did you build the team, and how was the whole journey on the team building?
Yeah, so I have a very clear vision about that, and I really believe that it's all about the mindset. Every person has his own mindset. So mindset is the aggregation, the addition of a lot of ideas that you have. And this is the most important thing that you have to evaluate in a person if you want to hire, if you want to build a team. Because yes, you can see the skill, you can talk about skills, of course it's an important part, but if you don't have the right mindset to do this job, you can have the best skills, tech growth ever, but you're not going anywhere if you don't have the right mindset. The right mindset for me means to understand what failure is. It means that you probably are gonna fail for 90% of the case, that you are doing something incredibly difficult, that you don't have hours to work, that you are trying to do something completely new, that you want to change an industry, that you have like a revolutionary vision. And if you don't have this in your mindset, you can be the best developer in the world, but you're not going anywhere.
This is very important, and because a lot of times you are going to get defeated, and that's the part of the startup journey. Have you been defeated?
Of course, a lot of times, and I would say if maybe every day, you know, in a smaller or biggest way. But yes, it's something that you are facing every day, and yes, you have to learn the right mindset to face that situation, and everything is based on your mindset. Because if you see that you have not reached that result and you go down, you are negative and you say, oh, nothing is gonna work, where are you going? And if you say, okay, we have not reached that thing, but there is something that we can do, we can improve this, we can to change, we have to iterate, we have to try another thing, we have to think in a different way, and let's do it.
How was your experience of fundraising? What was the whole journey, and how do you see fundraising as a process?
Fundraising is the ability to take closing doors every day in front of you. So fundraise is a collection of closing door. So you have to be able to take 99 closing doors in front of you. And this is fundraising. Be able to take a no, to take I'm not interested, to be ghosted sometimes. But then, after 99 closing doors, you will find the right one, the right door that it's gonna open, and then go straight. Also, fundraising, it can be seen like a learning process. And I think not a lot of founders approach fundraising in that way. They start with the idea, I need money, I want money, I have to close money. Okay, and that's right, but it's not all. So you have to approach fundraising as a journey where you are going to take a lot of closing doors in front of you. You have to be able to face this situation. You are going to learn a lot of things. I also believe that you are always fundraising. You can bootstrap, you can start with your own funds, can be a very great profitable company, but if you really want to do a startup, you need to raise money. So for this reason, you have to be always in fundraising mode.
Interestingly, as a founder, you have to be permanently on two modes. One is fundraising mode, another is sales mode. And I would always say it's sales mode first, fundraising mode second. But practically, both of them have the same underlying issue that you're always going to present yourself as an attractive business to invest in. Sales
Exactly.
is basically, sales is essentially nothing but a product delivery, which is a product delivery on which there's a cost put, and fundraising is a whole investment which is packaged in. So this is very crucial for it. But let me ask you, very simple, what if you don't raise?
So I think that if you don't raise, you're not able to do this job. When I started with my co-founders, so we finished our university and we started doing startup, deciding not to go working full time for another company, and of course you have to pay your salary. We started and we said, okay, we have 3 months. If in 3 months we are not able to raise 100k, we stop. Why? Because it means that we are not able to do this job. If you're not able to raise, it's a signal that probably you're doing something wrong. Probably you are doing something not in the best way. Probably the idea it can change something. So yes, you can still go with your own money, but it doesn't make sense burning your own money to trying to do something.
But I have a question. Why do you have to burn someone else's money to make your own business?
Yeah, because you are taking the risk of betting your everyday work, your passion, your vision into that. This is the risk that you're gonna take it, and the money from the other people, because they are investors, so professionals or maybe not, but they want to have a return doing nothing. This is the job of an investor. But also, I come back to the question, the point of me before. If you're not able to raise, you're if you're not able to raise 100k, you will be not able to raise 10 million. So if you're not able to raise the first round, how you want to do that when you have to scale it? Then that's the thing.
So, what's the plan ahead now? How do you see your company going?
Yeah, so I really know and I'm super aware that we have optimized and fixed a lot of things. So the thing is that we have created a product, we are able to acquire user, we are able to make revenue, but we have to optimize all these machine. We have to improve the structure, the model, and the product itself, of course. So we have to optimize what are we doing right now and find the way to scale it in the fast way as we can, so that it means to replicate the same concept in every country.
So I'll just ask something that, what if you don't succeed?
If I don't succeed, it's part of the game. But what is success? This is the real question. Because for me, success is what we are doing right now. Hot Music is already a successful company. Because nowadays, there are 100 people every day that are connecting each other thanks to our products. And they are using actively Hot Music. In Italy, Hot Music is recognized as a point of power for emerging artists. And for me, this is a very big impact. It's something that 2 years ago, it doesn't exist. And we are writing a piece of story in the music industry. that it can be bigger, and even bigger, of course, thanks to our work. But for me, success is what you have done. It's not what you can reach.
If you were to give a three-piece advice to a young startup, what would you say?
Yeah. So, first advice, don't think, just start. Don't think about what can you achieve, how is it difficult, what can you do. Just start and try. So don't think, just start. Second one is that you are bigger than every fear that you have. I give this to you as an advice because a lot of people are scared and they're not able to start because of fear. But at the end, you are bigger than every fear that you have. The third advice I would say is don't do that. Because if I tell you this advice and you're gonna do it, you are the right one to do that. I would say don't do that because it's so difficult. It's frustrating. You have 90% of a failure. So don't do that. But then, if you do it, you are the right one.
That's quite nice. That's quite interesting. So with that, I think it was fantastic talking to you, Emanuele, about knowing about you, your company, your fundraising journey, your team, and then your interesting fundraising experiences. I think it was a quite fantastic one. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was
Thank you to you.
fantastic to have you, and we wish you, your team, and best of luck and do well. And with that, that brings an end to this week episode. So see you next week with a new guest. Thank you, everyone.